Okay, so we'll start. Okay, so hello again. This is the second part of our fourth sections of Semiosa Long. So I will present Gigi Albuquerque. Gigi Albuquerque is a journalist, music critic, and PhD in communication studies. His research has focused on Afro-diasporic and Global South electronic music. He is the co-director of the feature film Terror Mandelão, the one that we watched yesterday here, an experimental documentary about São Paulo funk bruxaria scene, and DJK, which premiered into 2024 at the Tiradentes International Film Festival in Brazil. Since 2015, he's been editing the blog and page Volume Morto, or Volume Morto on Instagram, and is the co-founder of Embrazado, a journalistic project dedicated to the music cultures of Brazilian favelas. He's also the screenwriter of Spotify's documentary on bregafunk music and was a member of the official jury at the Tiradentes Film Festival and the super jury at the Multishow Awards. He has written for outlets such as Vice Brasil, Bandcamp, KondZilla, Wall, Jornal do Commercio, Suplemento Pernambuco, and many others. In 2023, he was recognized with the Vozes 30 Award, which highlights the initiatives that illuminate the future of Brazilian communications. So thank you, Gigi, for coming. You can start.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation. I must say I didn't know what to talk about. And I mean, I'm not a guy from semiotics. This is not my area of expertise. But after Leticia's presentation, I can understand where are you going, and I can see points of contact in our ideas, shared interests. And well, I'm going to talk about baile funk and a specific scene in baile funk that happens in São Paulo. This is a sample of my PhD thesis that works with different diasporic Black music, electronic Black music in Brazil, but also in Africa and in Portugal. And one thing that moves me, that drives me, is how can these producers, young kids, using almost all of them use the same software, which is FL Studio or Fruit Loops, and how they can make a sound so different and so innovative, so creative. It seems using just this same tool that comes from the big tech companies, right? Such as FL Studio. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it, focusing on what I call the sonic epistemology of baile funk. And we're going to understand a little bit of this idea. So first, I want to talk about baile funk, maybe for those that are not Brazilian, already heard about baile funk. Maybe names, I don't know, like Anitta, who made a show, a concert in Coachella Festival and stuff like that. But this is just like the fringe, just the points, the tip of the iceberg. It's not the whole thing. Basically, it's in the favelas with the small home studios where the cultural and music innovations of the baile funk scene do emerge. And it's interesting to see that it comes from the way that these producers creatively explore the beat programs like FL Studio, and seeking always unknown territory in terms of sonic creation. Like I said here, like I wrote here in the presentation, an unknown sonic territory. Always experimenting new stuff that engages with what is trending at the moment, what is the pop music, but always moving towards a new kind of music. We're going to talk about this new. I know this might raise some questions. What is new? What is not new? But there is this culture, and the newness is the culture. There's a culture of innovation in funk. This is one important value for the community. And but what I want to highlight, what I want to pinpoint, is how funk creatively incorporates and subverts elements that the music industry normally sees as errors or mistakes, especially the noise. So I'm going to start by playing a track called Bruxaria Impact 2.
Esse é o homem que barulha tudo nas favelas, caralho! Respeita, DJ
E aí, DJ Daniels, solta putaria, porra. Solta putaria, porra. Solta putaria, porra.
Da chota toma dedada, da chota toma dedada, toma dedada, toma dedada, toma dedada, toma dedada.
Esse é o homem que barulha tudo nas favelas, caralho! Respeita, DJ Rafinha
So this is just for waking up. If someone was feeling tired and sleepy now, I think. But it's funny, imagine you going to a party and you call someone, you call to a friend, okay, let's go to a party and let's go dance. And this is the music that you're going to hear. I mean, it's so weird to imagine that this is the music that the young kids are dancing in the street parties in favelas in São Paulo. Because when we think about dance music and the popular dance music, because this is a popular kind of music, we don't imagine this noisy, harsh sound. Notice that the vocals are like suffocated. You hear only the blasting beats. So this is a inversion of the logics of dance music, because you have the noise. It's so loud. It's not the regular beats like we are used to in the landscape of electronic dance music based on techno and house, basically. So one thing I want to go back a little bit in history just to give you a context. There's one specific sound in this funk Mandelão scene that is crucial. You guys watched the movie and you already know it is the Tuin. I'll show you one track it's probably the first one to use the sound of Tuin, and I'll explain a little bit what it is and how it developed. This is a track called Lança de Coco by an MC called MC Bin Laden. And it's funny because he was called to perform in US, I think in MoMA, and yeah, he didn't get the visa. I don't know why.
Opa, não tô gripado, me dá o lança-perfume que deixa com o pé gelado. É lança de fogo, vaporoso colou. É lança de fogo, vaporoso colou. Olha o lança, quem não vai fora aqui, aqui não transa. Olha o lança, quem não vai fora aqui, aqui não transa. Olha o Tuin, olha o Tuin, olha o Tuin, olha o Tuin, olha o Tuin. Olha o Tuin, olha o Tuin, olha o Tuin, olha o Tuin, olha
So this high-pitched sound is the twin. This high-pitched, piercing squeals sound is twin. And twin is the term that the funk enthusiasts, as we call funkeiros, the partygoers, uses to describe this auditory hallucination that is triggered by the use of lança. It is a drug frequently consumed in these baile funks, in the street parties of the favela. It's made mostly of chloroethane mixed with perfume, and the effects of this drug are increased heart rate, euphoria, and the sensitivity to these high volume and high pitched sounds. So we can see that the sound of twin, actually you can hear, not see, that the sound of twin is skillfully designed by the DJs and producers to build this hallucinogenic experience that goes beyond music. DJ K, that you watched it on the movie, he says, "Oh, I use this so people are like, whoa, this is like the vibe, or this is actually the music, or I'm having just a hallucination. What is this? Where the sounds come from?" So what we some might understand as noise, something irritating, an irritating noise, in baile funk is a stimulus for a trip to the edges of the consciousness, is a impulsive or uncontrollable desire to dance or to move, or embrazar, as the funkeiros say in the baile funk. I'm going to show here another track that plays in the. You can hear in the movie that shows how this twin developed. This is a song called Tuin Infernal. I'm not sure how I can translate something like twin destroys. I don't know how to say noia. Like, yeah, okay.
The
A
guy.
produção, terror dos bailes, porra.
Esse é o Nogueira, porra. Esse é o Nogueira, porra.
É o DJ Mago, porra. Toma Mandelão, caralho.
DJ K não tá mais produzindo, tá fazendo bruxaria, tá fazendo bruxaria, tá fazendo...
So notice that in the previous song that we heard, the twin is almost like a special effect that comes in and then goes out, and it's more like a illustration of the effect of using the lança that he mentions in the track, the earlier track of MC Bin Laden. And now the twin is actually the backbone of the track. the main beat that started, it appears in the start of the song, and it goes on and on and on and on. And you can see now, you hear that he uses almost like a polyrhythmic effect. He uses two different twins and overlaps both of them, creating even more hallucinogenic effect. I'm going to continue with the song, and we will hear this. Now.
Vem tacando buzeta, 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 vem tacando buzeta.
So you can start to see how the twin is used in a rhythmic approach to the twin. Our friend is using protected to the. Oh, it's different.
Não. Ele achou que você colocou.
Ah, não. Tira.
So what I want to show here once again is how exploring this distorted high volume sound of twin, the funk producers are incorporating and subverting elements that the music industry often see as mistakes. Again, the noisy, distorted mixing, the raw textures that pushes the mix into the red. It's funny, when I was in the DJ Car International Tour, when we started to play, he started his performing. In the beginning, the sound was okay. It was here, and like in the second song, the volume was down. The sound technicians always put down the volume because they were afraid that it might I don't know how to say it, like bursting the speakers, which is not going to happen because this guy plays at the amazing huge sound systems in the favelas every week, and that can't happen because he can't break one of these speakers. It's super expensive. He can't do that. So he understands how to create this distorted and noisy mixing without giving problems to the structure, right, to the speakers. And what I want to show is I was trying to understand how these DJs are inventing their creative procedures, not based on traditional musical theory, but rather on the basis of a particular knowledge and know-how created by an intimate connection with the party environment, including the dance, the drugs, the sound frequencies, and the new forms of music creation, which is introduced by the DAWs, the digital audio workstations, like FL Studio that I mentioned earlier. So instead of the melody, harmony, and rhythm, the funk DJs are guiding their work by other parameters like BPMs, their sound frequencies. It's a very deep understand of how the sound frequencies affects the body in the baile, in the party. So they know that they're not using this twin randomly. It is connected to the behaviors and the culture of the baile funk. Also the loops and the dots, they call pontinhos. It is roughly translated to dots, which are specific sound effects. The sound texture, which is this clipped sounds, and the sound system, they know what kind of sounds and the frequencies that the sound systems will make it sound better, and also non-musical sounds. We're going to talk about soon about this, but I want to show you this quote by a funk DJ called Dudu Cooper. I interviewed him, and he said, "I think funk's much more about creativity than musical knowledge." So it's much more about organizing and experimenting new things than a formal, institutionalized musical knowledge. This is important. Also, I think I didn't wrote that, but I would like to highlight for you. Notice that this music is focused on the high-pitched sounds instead of the bass sounds, which is the basis of electronic dance music historically. Think about the bass of techno, house, also drum and bass, and think about how the industry of music have used this kind of bass culture a lot. Think about the beats, the headphones beats by Dr. Dre, which were designed to the bass sounds. And here we have the opposite. So it's a local understanding, a very singular approach to the sound, to the sound and dance culture. I want to show you one track that I was there when these guys was producing this song, and I was talking with them about the production, the steps of the creation of the song. And I'm going to talk about some of specific sounds and show it to you how this connects to the baile funk environment. The song is called Viagem ao Oculto, Trip to the Occult, Illuminate. It became the first track of DJ K first international album later, I think a few months after it was recorded. So let's go.
Nos vídeos do Twitter, ele assumia fazer parte dos Illuminati e ainda falou nomes de outras celebridades que fariam parte dessa organização. Celebridades famosas que estariam ligadas à seita.
Mas por que será que ele fez isso? Será que foi uma piada?
E os nomes das pessoas que ele citou? Será que algumas dessas celebridades realmente fazem parte dessa ordem?
É o JLZ que faz o paredão tremer, caralho. Vai segurar.
DJ K não tá mais produzindo, tá fazendo bruxaria.
So first thing, you have these DJ tags right at the beginning, because in the parties you don't know what the name of the track. So it's not like listening to a track on your home. You don't have the information, so they always put lots of DJ tags for the people to know who produced this song. Okay, let's continue.
Tá que novinha sapeca, vai picante, vai que pira. Eu vou te empurrar no pelo, eu vou te empurrar no pelo, eu vou te empurrar no pelo. Chama essas puta pra poder sem camisinha. Chama essas puta pra poder sem camisinha.
I don't know if you noticed that, but the beat, the rhythm changes quite a lot during the song. I will go back a little bit and you see that the rhythm is changing all the time. So let me go back a little bit.
Chama essas puta pra poder sem camisinha. Chama essas puta pra poder.
Now it's going to change again.
Chama essas puta pra poder sem camisinha. Puta pra poder sem camisinha.
Ela veio na minha casa com o papo de namorar. Mas que papo estranho, eu só quero te empurrar. Eu falei assim pra ela, comigo não vai rolar. Sou bandido sem coração, mas uma coisa eu vou te dar.
A partir de agora,
não fica chateada, vou te dar só piro.
Why it keeps changing the rhythm and sometimes even the sound of the drum? I asked him why, and he said basically if I'm going to play in a party, in the street party, and also on YouTube, if you are listening to a music video on YouTube, you're going to get tired of the same beats throughout the same beat throughout the whole song. So I'm always changing to keep people attracted to the music. So they're always engaged in this music. So you can see that how he changes the way that people listen to the music, the habits of listening becomes a compositional approach to the song, right? And let's continue.
Não fica chateada, vou te dar sua pirocada. A família tá preocupada porque a filha sumiu. Já faz 3 dias que ninguém viu.
Here, I'm not sure if you listen to, but there's culture prayers from Muslims that he got online. He just downloaded from a YouTube track and put it sampled on the song. And why is that? I asked him again, and he said this is the song, kind of sound that the guys in the funkeiros, right, the party goers of the baile funk street parties loved. They loved this, and so I have to use this a lot. And it's not just this track. You have this on many tracks. So there are 2 songs that the guys from the favelas parties enjoy in the funk. He says, DJ K. He says that are these Arabic culture prayer and Islamic culture prayer and the sound of birds, or whistle. It's called passarinho, beat passarinho, which is something like a bird beat, or whistle. And it's interesting to see how he's going to use, especially the whistle. First, he puts just a glimpse of what is coming next. Let's hear it.
Já faz 3 dias que ninguém viu.
A menina saiu escondida para ir a um baile funk. O pancadão acontece toda sexta-feira nesta rua.
Ia fumando, bebendo e tomando pica. Ia fumando, bebendo e tomando pica.
Just then, you have the full version of the whistle. And why is that? He explained to me why he did that on this track. He first put just a snippet of the whistle, because the guys in the party that really enjoy this kind of sound, the whistle, they'll have the time to get their phones, unlock, open the camera, and start filming. And when they film, it's good for him, for the DJ, because they will post on their Instagram stories or their WhatsApp stories and etc. And this makes put him in evidence, right? They will tag him and he will repost and everything. So we can see how what was supposed to be just the the marketing, the way to promote their song, also becomes a strategy for the composition of the song. So he mixes everything. He doesn't. It's not separated. He can't separate that. And okay, let's continue to the song since we're already here. Also the Islamic chants and this piano on the end was actually the beginning of all the track. They start producing with this piano sample that JLZ, which is the feature producer here, had on his laptop. So what we have here is basically what I'm calling a sonic epistemology that connects the sound, the body, and the movement, and the technology. So we have the technology. Look, I know this kind of music is just possible because of the way that a software like FL Studio is made and allows you to produce a song without the technical and formal knowledge, and on the way that is built around the sampling and the sound blocks, the step sequencers, and all of that. So we have this connecting technology, the way that it's going to work on the sound systems. This is also a very important part on this technology aspect. The movement, and the body, how people react to this on the baile funk, on this kind of sound, this abrasive, this twin sound, this whistle, and again the sound. So he's challenging the ideal of modern rationality that divides, or rather opposes, body and versus mind or soul. So sound is above all a physical force, almost tactile. You have volume, weight, mass, the movements of the speakers from the paredão of the sound systems are pushing the air, and the bass resonates in your rib cage, vibrate your skins, shake your bones. The high pitch of twin are bleeding your ear. It's a really deep understanding of all these of this connection of all these elements. So what is strange is that the DJs from the favela bailes often speak about their artistic experimentation in terms that align with the commercial logic of the music industry. One thing that I already mentioned to you is how DJ Kat he says, I'm always trying to do the best in the first 40 seconds, 30 seconds of the song, because the YouTube algorithm shows me that people's watch is basically 30, 40 seconds. And I know how you have this deficit of attention in the baile funk. It's generally spread today. Another example is DJ GFDC, another very important music producer in the baile funk scene, but he went in a different way, in the opposite way of the funk Mandelão that we're hearing here, the bruxaria thing that is more darky and obscure and harsh and all of that. He made a song called the Happiness Beat da Felicidade, which is, as the title suggests, is a really joyful sound and a more danceable sound with Brazilian percussions like berimbau. And I asked him why he made that in a moment, this kind of music, in a moment where the funk bruxaria was so more evident, people were attracted to this kind of sound. And he said, if you create something different in the funk, then the funk scene is yours. It's in your hands. It will become a trend and people will follow. If you only do the same as others, you end up just being one more in the competition. Your ideas have to go against the grain. To the Brazilian speaking friends here, he says, na contramão das ideias. I translated na contramão das ideias to against the grain. So it's funny because the common understanding sees the commercial logic as a mere reproduction of trends and formulas for success. But for these DJs here, there is no antagonism between experimentation and the industry, right? As GFDC said, GFDC is evoking this idea of competition. So it is a liberal and totally marketing idea in his mind and his discourse, but artistically, he's looking for experimentation. It is really paradoxical. It's weird, actually. But it shows us that in this funk Mandelão scene, the avant-garde is actually popular. So the norms of the market are rethought, modulated, and viewed through a different lens, resulting in new approaches to the creative work. And the sonic thinking, or the sonic epistemology of these developed by these racialized and marginalized artists of funk Mandelão are moving ambiguously between the market and the experimentation. We have a black imagination dynamic of scape that avoids complete capture by contemporary identity-driven capitalism, even as it directly negotiates with the industry framework. So I don't know if how much time I still have. I have like 10 minutes, or
yeah, more or less 10 or 15.
Okay, that works. I want to talk about what I talked with a lot of DJs from different cities in Brazil, and they were always telling me about dirty. And I started to think about, what is this dirty? Can we talk about the aesthetics of dirty? So here, Jeff DC, Dudu Cooper, Renan Valley, different artists always mention this. It needs some dirty. It needs to be favelado, in a favela way. And I asked them, what is this dirt that you are always talking about? What is this? And they said they went through different ways of answering. One thing they always mention is the clipping mix, pushing everything into the red, a delay left over, popping voices in the mic. Dudu Cooper said, sometimes we leave these kinds of things, these dirties, in the music, because in a paredão, in a sound system, it makes a difference. The dirt gives some shine to the music, which again seems odd, right? Because it's not the clean thing that works, it's the opposite. The dirty that gives the shine to the music. I wanna show you one video that I posted on my Instagram with an interview with DJ Renan Valley, because he gives a really insightful opinion in this aspect. Let me see if we can. My connection is not that great, but if it doesn't work, I have his quotes. Oh no, it's going to work. O DJ carioca Renan Valley faz uma reflexão cultural e política do som. Para ele, o funk de favela é mais ruidoso porque dialoga com a vida e a paisagem sonora das comunidades.
Quando uma parada fica muito limpa, não é um som urbano. Se você reparar, a própria favela tem a sua sonoridade. Eu sei como tem operação na favela, por quê? Tem silêncio. A favela tem as crianças correndo.
Let me see if I can just reduce a little bit of the quality.
Okay.
I know it's not great quality already, but
It's good. Okay.
Okay, let's see if that will work.
Passarinho passando, tu escuta demais, sempre tu acorda, segunda manhã, moto pra lá e pra cá, mãe gritando, pega! Volta cá! Pode meter, porrada! Então, a favela tem a sua sonoridade. E isso faz tanta parte da nossa rotina. E quando a gente vai produzir uma música, isso tá enraizado na gente. A gente quer aquele ruído, aquela parada. Não é porque a gente gosta de um som surdo, que a gente tá nem aí, que a gente não estuda. Não, é porque faz parte da sonorização nossa, do nosso dia a dia, do nosso barulho. O barulho tá aqui. Quando tem operação aqui, mano, a polícia consegue trazer um silêncio pra favela que você não escuta nem o passarinho 5 horas da manhã, você não escuta cachorro latindo, não escuta moto passando, não escuta carro, não escuta a mãe gritando pro seu filho. Aí eles calam a favela, mano.
O silêncio se torna a imposição do medo. E para o funk de favela, o ruído não é um som torturante, mas sim um canal de energia que conduz ao embrasamento.
O som da violência, a gente tem medo do silêncio.
The sound of violence is the silence. We hear the silence, not the loud, which is funny because there's a book, now sonic weapon. Anyway, there's a
Oops. GG. Oi. Travou bem. Peraí.
Sonic.
Agora voltou. Desculpa. Agora voltou.
Okay, it's working now.
Yes.
Perfeito. Where I stopped it?
Yeah? This is good.
Okay, can we go?
Yeah, can we go? Yes.
So there's a book by I don't remember the title. I think it's Sonic Weapon, but it's written by a guy, a DJ, producer, and author called KondZilla, that talks about how the sound was used in sonic weapons and all of that. And he's always talking about the noise. And here we have a different point of view. For Renan Valley, there's a form of terror that is imposed through silence and not noise, not loudness. So in Rio's favela, silence is the voice of the fear and the violent, threatening power of the state, of the police, which enters the favelas only under the logic of police invasion. So noise becomes, on the other hand, the expression of life flowing. So we can see here that funk music from the favela bailes used intense sound frequencies, heavy bass, and noisy textures to create these aesthetic experiences that channels this vital energy, the soundscape of the favela, as he says, into an experience that mobilizes the collective body of the baile funking, transcending the codes of individual, solipsistic listening centered only on the ears. You hear with your whole body because the loud sound of the sound systems are shaking your bones and all of that. So what we have here with DJ Kyle, GFDC, and Renan Valley, and many others, is a cosmo-perception of noise that is sensibly distinct from the Western experimental music tradition that sees noise music as an inclination towards pain. And here we have a different thing. We have noise as a release of these repressive vital energies. Just to mention here, I would just like to mention this quote of DJ ZL from Belo Horizonte that talks about this idea of Embrazado that I mentioned earlier. He says, what I want to express to people when they're listening to my music is for them to freak out, to let go. You don't have to stay trapped because you're already trapped too much in certain ways. You feel me? When someone's listening to the music, I want them to feel the freedom to be who they are. For me, the more aggressive the sound, the more liberating it is, because people can embrazar more. So embrazar comes from brasa or ember. It's conveying a sense of heat. So in the context of the bailes, embrazar carries a meaning tied to invigorating vitality and intoxicating joy, and urging full surrender to this party, embracing the present moments. So in this sonic blackness of baile funk here, we have a new sensibility of listening rooted in a different cosmo-perception where noise becomes a channel for pleasure, jubilation, and ultimately this embrazamento, a movement toward experiencing existence beyond colonial political death projects. I'm going to the end, but I'd just like to highlight this idea of dirty that I mentioned previously. I do like this interpretation of the concept of dirty by Sofia Favero, a trans woman, intellectual from Brazil, that says, dirty is aggressive, but cleanliness is truly violence. It was the pursuit of purity that led us to embody a colonial imperialist bloodthirsty cosmology. So she argues that the cleanliness is rooted to a colonial and to an imperialist project of violence, because you have this duality of cleanness versus dirty, that implies the fabrication of an ego-driven through of cis-normative hetero-masculine whiteness that narrates itself as a clean, healthy, and normal. And the opposite will be the minor other, which is condemnable and with a bad status and all of that. So funk, with this twin and distorted mixes, loud sounds, and blasting sound systems, materialize our artistic approach that affirms its political strength symbolically amidst the destruction of its ways of life. In contrast to the tech and the music industry, the dirty of the DJs and producers from Brazil favelas stains these technical norms and expertise, or allegedly expertise, of major music studios professionals, with a sonic epistemology that rises from the possibilities of resistance and creativity shaped by impurity and scarcity. And that's it. I think I spoke too much already. Thank you.
Thank you so much, JJ. It was amazing. And I'm really glad that you accepted the invite to be here. And I want to ask if someone in the room want to do any question. No. Okay, do you have a question?
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. First of all, thank you so much for your lecture. It was so inspiring, and I couldn't believe that I could bring Mandelão here in this class, like my professors here in funk. It was really, really good. I think this is really important. And I really think like your lecture ends really well, our series, because we have a lot of this talk of these isotopies. You said you don't know much of semiotic, but your research is so semiotic. You can do a lot of approximations with semiotic theories. And there's one that Eduardo and Leticia brought to us, and I think Miana, more or less, is about the isotopies. Isotopy, and isotopy is when there's a there's a repetition of a basic meaning. And we have a lot of bad and good isotopies in your society and in Brazilian society. And I think the best thing of Funky Mandelão, Funky Bruxaria, is you took this bad isotopies, this bad sign, this dirty, this image that is related to us as being bad, because if you're born in favela and you're black or poor, you're sign of bad as bad sign. And together we reunite, you take the streets and you make your own music with free softwares and for free parties, and we celebrate it all together and mix it and make a lot of noise. Me, myself, I live next to Elipa, o baile do Elipa, a famous favela. Like I live in Tamanutei. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, I know it.
In São Paulo, and it's really good because when I go back to my house, like from work and university, I can see people going to Elipa, and I can see now is only not music made for us, but people with money, you can see by the dressing, they are going to Elipa only to listen this type of song. I think this is amazing how we broke this barrier, that it was made for us. And when I listen in my house, the noise, I feel happy sometimes not, because I want to sleep, but I like this this noise, people being happy. And I'm saying this because here, when you talk about this kind of like silence being a way of violence, I feel this so much because as a Brazilian in Europe, me and my friends get a lot of shh because we can't be quiet. So all time we are screaming and happy because you can be together without being loud. And now I know why. And thank you for explaining that. And I'll say this to compliment you, but I have one question indeed. I don't know if you know, I guess you know, the PL Ancho-Juan. Because besides we are breaking the barriers, and people from besides favelas are going to these parties and listening to her music and are getting popular, even in Europe. Me and I did some parties and people really like our music here. But in Brazil, we still have some politicians that are trying to criminalizing our music, our culture, and I think this is is unconstitutional. It is not democratic at all. And I think I'd like to ask you, what do you think about this movement from our politicians, and what we should do, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this happens systematically through funk history, like this initiatives that seeks to criminalize this culture. It happens like since the 80s, or if you go back to the baile funk history, considering as an extension or a development of the soul parties and that we called bailes black, that also happened during the dictatorship. The difference now is that you have the social media working. So these kinds of projects are mostly, in my opinion, mostly visibility of way of platform for the elections. Like you get attention, you know. There, like in São Paulo, you see. I think you have a how do you say, a congresswoman called Beatriz. I don't know her name right now, but she's a girl from Rio, from São Paulo, a congresswoman from São Paulo, and she only talks about this funk artist MC Oruan, who's from Rio. So the thing, why she's doing that? She's doing it because she knows she'll have attention, she'll have the social media. So people are. It's much more a performative thing to get your shorts and post it online with a performative discourse about funk and engaging conservative fan base online. So you get attention, and further in the upcoming elections you get votes. But yeah, you mentioned this thing about silence in Europe. I don't know, not last year, but 2 years ago, I went to Europe for the first time, and this was my first cultural shock. Also, this silence everywhere. When it's Monday, you don't hear. Sunday late afternoon, you don't hear any music blasting away. And I don't know if you can see this. This is a Doritos in a Doritos advertising in Paris. And the Doritos is in the ear of a black person.
Oh my gosh, I see. It's a black person. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and he says it's the same crunch but without sounds.
Oh.
It is Doritos silence. So yeah, you have this obsession with silence.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so.
It was not in Paris, it was in Lisbon, sorry.
Oh, Lisbon.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I see. I feel it here. Thank you again for your lecture and everything that you say. It was really good. I took a lot of notes. And thank you for bringing funk to the discussion, to the academia, because I think we produce a lot of culture and philosophy, I guess, in favelas, in Brazil, with black culture. So, as Leticia said before, let's aquilombar our way of see the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone question? No. I just want to ask one last one. Like you said that the funk is always doing new things really fast. And how do you see the future of the funk? Will be more and more noisy and fast and dirty, or do you think will be more, I don't know, the opposite, or you don't know?
I have no idea. What I learned these years is that body funk and all the music from Brazilian favelas are unpredictable.
Okay.
This is the core of the thing.
This is yeah. Okay, thank you so much. And yes, if anyone have more questions, we can finish. And thank you. It was great to do all the lectures. And me and Vic really glad for Israel and Ludmila that bring this opportunity to us. So thank you.
Thank
Tchau.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. Tchau, Letícia. Obrigada.
Tchau, tchau.
Tchau, pessoal.
Valeu.